Alright guys, we're back. And I've been cooking up something real special for you. I know that you loved my last video about possible chapters for Dead by Daylight, but this time I'm just going to cut out all the nonsense with the survivors on the map and we're just going straight to the killers. The heart and soul of the game. Now there's probably a few killers here that you could make chapters for and throw in a survivor or two, but I don't care, okay? I'm just going for the solo killer route this time, guys, okay? Also, just because I've seen or mentioned a franchise doesn't mean I'm that franchise's #1 fan, okay? Doesn't mean I've consumed every single piece of media regarding that franchise. Sometimes I miss things, guys. It's fine, okay? Sometimes I didn't go back for the sequel. Just calm down. I also had people in my last video saying stuff like, Ultra, how could you forget the dirty bubble and Manta Ray from SpongeBob? How are you gonna have a horror game without the ghost from Pac-Man? No Oogie Boogie from The Nightmare Before Christmas? You're dead to me! Sometimes I miss things, okay? If I was to go through every single possible character that could possibly be in this game, even like the ones that have a slim to none chance, it would be a 12-hour video, okay? Just calm down. Just okay. I'm not going to get every single character in existence, obviously. Just chill. I do want to know your guys' thoughts and opinions and the characters you want to see added to the game, but, you know, don't berate me or throw cabbages at me. Stop. Anyway, enough yapping. To start off, Amnesia, the grunt. Do people even care about Amnesia anymore still? The only time I hear about Amnesia is the new bunker game they made, but I've not played it. So all I know is this lonesome little fella called the grunt. That was me grunting. Candyman, the legend, the Candied Man. Nah, just the Candyman. Just like Jason, the Candyman is another horror legend icon. He needs to be in the game. We need him. Get him in here. Get him in here. Come on. Stop messing around. Get him in here. Terrifier. Art the Clown. Terrifier is one of those IPs that's more of a when than a if. Something tells me he's coming soon. Maybe in the next year or two. Malignant. Gabriel May. The Cancer. What kind of backwards world are we living in? Where we don't have Gabriel May in the game? We're so turned around. American Psycho. Patrick Bateman. The Psycho. Unfortunately, I just don't think American Psycho would be possible to get into the game.
Why not, you stupid bastard?
Well, do you know what, Patrick? You do make a very good point. Okay, let's get American Psycho into the game. Hazbin Hotel. The Radio Demon. Good old Alistair. Crazy character. He eats people. He's a cannibal. Get him in there with the other cannibals. Poppy's Playtime. Oogie Woogie. The Toy. Now, I can't imagine too many people would be thrilled about the aspect of another children's mascot horror game getting added. Especially one that goes by the name of Oogie Woogie. Well, look at him. He's got those long wiggly arms. Suitable for beating Dwight to an inch of his life. And strangling Meg. A massive maw filled with razor sharp teeth. Good for chewing up and spitting out swifts. He comes in a variety of colours from blue to pink. And he's suitable for ages 6 and up. Don't delay. Get him today and be the envy of all your killer friends. Sponsored by Playtime Co. Bendy and the Ink Machine. Bendy, the Ink Demon. The Toon. Now, I only played Bendy and the Ink Machine back when it was like the first game and it was all split into chapters. And by God, that was an awful game. But it's had multiple games since then and I've not played those. But it's still kind of popular. But the Ink Demon himself just looks cool and we don't really have a killer like that in the game. So he could be a cool addition. Cujo. The Saint Bernard. The Rabbit. The bad dog. It's a very bad dog. Naughty. The best thing about playing Dracula for me is playing the wolf. I love running around as a little dog, jumping through the windows, sniffing, howling. So it'd be cool to have a killer basically designed around that entire form, you know? Cujo is exactly what this game needs. A beautiful little boy. Just look at that cute little face. Look at that little butt and I could just give it mwah. Cujo would just be the best thing ever. Everyone would love Cujo in this game. But what's this? Stephen King. Stephen King hates video games, no reason. That's a bad Stephen King. Very, very bad. Who did that? That's a very bad Stephen King. Naughty King. Naughty. No. Hell of a boss. Blitz. I never mispronounced it. The O silent shut up. The Imp. Since I included Alistair from Hazbin Hotel in this list, I thought, why not just throw Blitzo in here from Hell of a Boss. Moxie and Millie could be skins along with Striker. Just like Alistair. Oh, fucking thing. Just like Alistair, it would be kind of hard to implement him into 3D from 2D. But honestly, if we get one, it'll be Alistair probably. Death Note, Light Yagami, and Ryuk. Sorry if I mispronounced that. The Shinigami. And now, I've not seen Death Note. I know the premise, obviously, where if you get your John Hancock written in the fucking big black book, you come down with a serious case of the unalive. But other than that, I don't really know much about the franchise, so I can only imagine the gameplay would kind of be like Piggy in the Middle, where the survivors have to throw the Death Note to one another to stop Light getting it. Or it's just Light frantically running around the trial looking for a fucking pen. He's just chasing Tori Kane. Excuse me, love, how do you spell your name? Is that Kane with a C or a K? Spawn. The hell Spawn. Spawn is so badass. I would love for Spawn to be in this game. Once upon a time I was like, they can't add Spawn, he's a good guy. But you know what, if they can add Ken Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul and make him work, they could probably add Spawn. You know, he'd probably have a reason to kill Dwight. I mean, it's not hard to think of a reason to kill Dwight. I probably have a reason to kill Dwight if I think hard enough. Kerry, the prom queen. Kerry would be a cool little addition to this game with her telekinesis, throwing knives and stuff at the survivors. But if I had the penny for every time Stephen King fucking ruined a license getting added to this game, I would have too many pennies. Don't worry, Hollywood, I'll give you everything I own, even the fucking rights to the monkey. You want to make a movie about the monkey? Sure, go ahead. But video games... I hate video games, says Stephen King.
Yo, that's my period, you dumb bitch! That's my period!
Now guys, this is only a couple of points off being a joke character, okay? It's probably never ever gonna happen. But bear with me, okay? Bear with me. The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask, Skull Kid, The Terrible Fate. I would love to fly around the trials as Skull Kid and just slap the survivors silly, turn Fang into a deco tree, laugh at her. Majora's Mask is one of my most favourite games of all time, and even though I do think it would fit in Dead by Daylight, it's just a high apple pie dream of mine. It's probably never ever gonna happen ever. And I'm okay with that. I've come to terms with that. Beetlejuice, the Bioexorcist. Let me tell you something, babe, okay? I love Beetlejuice. What a silly, goofy guy. He's a bag of fun, a ton of laughs. I love him. I think he would fit really well in the game. Obviously, Beetlejuice is a horror comedy, leaning mostly on comedy, but it's still a horror, you know. Beetlejuice still 100% in the movie tries to kill people. And I think he could be a really funny, cool addition to the game. I mean, come on, behaviour. Why the fuck isn't he already in the game? All you have to do is say his name 3 times. Are they stupid? Trick or Treat. Sam. The Halloween Spirit. The Enforcer. The Rule Keeper. What we need is some killer children in this game, and I don't think the kid from Pet Sematary is gonna cut it, okay? Although... where was I? Honestly, I don't know how they could make Sam work. I just think he's a really unique, cool character that we don't have in the game so far, and I would love to run around and just beat survivors, beat the devil out of survivors with a lollipop stick. That would just be amazing. In fact, I would even go so far as to say, that would be sweet. Do you know what? And I'm also feeling a little bit devilish. So I'm also going to say, it would be a bit of a treat. Oh. Danganronpa, Junko Enoshima, the Headmaster, the Blackened, the Crazy. Honestly, Danganronpa could be a chapter, very easily a chapter. But I just don't really know much about the franchise to be able to pick survivors and who would be skins and who would be skins for who and all that nonsense. So to make it easier on myself, I just put Junko in the solo killer list. But Danganronpa could very easily be a chapter, and I would very much like to see it a chapter. The Blob. And I ain't talking about your mama. I am ruthless today. I am cold-blooded. Now, I don't know if Behavior would want to do the Blob from the old school movie, The Blob, or just do like their own unique spin on it. Or they could do a second D&D chapter and add the Gelatinous Cube. I'd pay big monies to play as the Gelatinous Cube. Pearl, the star. I mean, yeah, Pearl fits in Dead by Daylight, but she's just some generic, average, cookie-cutter, run-of-the-mill, batshit insane, crazy bitch wielding an axe. You know what I mean? A dime a dozen. She doesn't even look visually appealing or interesting. She's just kind of bland. She's like the tofu of psychos. Seems very boring. I mean, if I think too long about Pearl going into Dead by Daylight, I might just... Leprechaun. The Leprechaun. We need 2 tiny gingers running around. That's what we need. Chucky and the Leprechaun. 2 peas in a pod. Chucky will diss all the survivors with profanities, and the Leprechaun will diss all the survivors with rhymes. Either way, the survivors are going to have their feelings hurt, along with their ankles being sliced to ribbons. Slay the princess. The princess. I've seen this game floating around before, but I have no idea what the fuck it is. I don't even know what type of game it is. What is it, like a dating sim? A RTS? A point-and-click adventure? A gacha game? Fucking kart racer? I don't know. Fucking pinball game? I have no idea what the hell it is. But I do really like the idea of the trope of the princess getting flipped on its head. And she's the one that's like killing you. She's no longer the damsel in distress. She's the damsel that's putting you in distress. Splatterhouse. Rick Taylor. The Berserker. Unfortunately for Splatterhouse, it's absolutely fucking ancient. Copies of that game probably have Alzheimer's and arthritis. But it does have one thing going for it. The killer is a bit of a beefcake, and he runs around shirtless. So I can only assume he's going to be very, very, very popular among the Dead by Daylight community. Dark Deception. Agatha. The little girl. Now, it was either her or Malik, but even though Malik is like the main big bad, he's the main ne'er-do-well, he's the main villain, Agatha just blows him out of the water when it comes to spookiness. And as I said, we need more killer children. Where are all the killer children? Come on, well, behave here. Where are the killer children? What is this? Hello Neighbor. The Neighbor. That's what I think about Hello Neighbor. The Silence of the Lambs. Hannibal Lecter. The Ripper. Or the Hannibal. Silence of the Lambs is obviously very iconic. I just have no idea how they would get Hannibal Lecter working in game. Marble Hornets. The Slenderman. The Operator. People have wanted Slenderman in this game for a long, long time. Because obviously, you know, he's cool. He would fit in the game. He'd be really nice to play as. With his tentacles and his lack of face. But recently Behaviour stated that SCP will never get added into the game because there's no copyright holder. Because there's no IP holder. So obviously if you use your critical thinking hats and just have some common sense, that obviously also means no creepypastas, that means no Jeff the Killer, no Smile Dog, no Sonic.exe, none of that nonsense. But if they go the Marble Hornet route, they could get Slenderman into the game as the operator. Goosebumps, Slappy, the doll, the dummy. I don't really have much to say about Slappy. Sweeney Todd, the barber. To kick the Jen, to slash the Dwight, require the force, require the might. Once again, any chance to get Johnny Depp, we take it. Sweeney Todd, unironically, would be a really good fit for Dead by Daylight. He would make the best movies in London.
It was at the pub!
Fear. Alma Wade. The Fear. The Vengeful. The Test Subject. Alma Wade could be cool. She's like Sadako, but red. Racer Red. Got to have it. Mortal Kombat. Shao Kahn. The Conqueror. Bro has been practicing his Morris for 20 years. Dwight is cooked, boiled, fried. And Behaviour, if you do get the Mortal Kombat license, and we don't get a Scorpion skin for the Death Slinger, you would have done us a disservice. And frankly, I will be shocked and appalled, okay? Undertale, Flowey, aka Azrael Dreamer, the Hyperdeath. Undertale's lore is a little bit balls off the walls, so to sum it up, this guy is no good, okay? But he would make for a fun killer. Or you could go with Chara, the Fallen Human. Chara, I don't know. But Azrael just looks more interesting and he has more powers, so he'll be more interesting from a gameplay perspective as well. Now, I'm not going to lie, adding characters from a 2D pixel game and implementing them into Dead by Daylight, a 3D game, would be extremely difficult. But Behaviour, seeing this stupid video fills you with determination. Alice in Madness. Alice, the Mad One. The Madness. A creepy twist on the Alice in Wonderland franchise would fit really well into Dead by Daylight. I would like it if it got added to the game. I think it would be fun to run around as Alice, giving people unbirthdays. But then again, I'm completely and utterly mad! Elfin Lied. Lucy. What is this? The Diclonolus? That made me feel dirty saying that. I'm going to use AI.
The Diclonius.
Lucy may look all sweet and innocent, but if you actually watch Elfin Lied, it's extremely gory. It's very, very brutal. The poor meatbags in that anime don't stand a chance. Oof, they get absolutely eviscerated. Ooh. And they don't spare the children either. Those snot-nosed little milk drinkers get ripped in two. Lucy is this, she's a AI, help me again.
The Diclonius.
And they have like these ghost hands that just rip people limb from limb in the most gory way possible. It would be awesome. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. The clown. That's clown with a K, by the way, just to not get confused. Or, I guess, go with the invader to make it even less confusing. Killer Clowns, come on, we can all see your game. Jump off the sinking ship, get on this one, come on. All aboard, we'll save you. DC. Now, for DC, you could either go two possible ways. The Scarecrow, or the Joker. So what are you going to do? You're going to go with the Scarecrow? Or are you going to go with the Joker, baby? Marvel. The Carnage. The Symbiote. There's more other fitting characters for Marvel. Morbius and Dorbius and Florbius and people of that nature. But me, personally, I'm going to go with Carnage. I'm a Carnage guy. Oh yeah. League of Legends. Yeah, that's right. Now we're really getting scary. Admit it. I just made a few of you jump out of your seat just then. Fiddlesticks. The Ancient Fear. From one absolutely dogshit, awful, rage-inducing game to another. Come on, Fiddlesticks. Come over. You'll feel right at home. It'll be like you never left. Come on. Get the fuck over here. The Boys. Homelander. The Soup. Or the Homelander. I'm not a big advocate for The Boys and Dead by Daylight, but whatever. It's very, not scary. What's the word I'm looking for? Suspenseful? Tenseful? Yeah, very, very tenseful and suspenseful. So I guess Homelander could fit, but as I say, I'm not a big advocate for it. Invincible. Omni-Man. Conquest. The Viltrumite. Again, I'm not a big advocate for Invincible, even more so, because it's not even like suspenseful or tenseful. It's like, sure, whatever, just get him in here. I added them to a list because a lot of people like him, but I don't think he should be in here, personally. I wouldn't vote upon it. Maybe a cosmetics collection, but I know what you're thinking. Ultra? You're acting a little sus. And you're right, Among Us. The Imposter? The Imposter would be like the Nicolas Cage of killers. But we should definitely be adding the original The Thing before we start adding parodies of it. But imagine Among Us and The Thing both being in Dead by Daylight. Imagine that 2v8. Woof! You won't know who's what and what's killing who. Another benefit for the Imposter is, look at all the Moris he could have. Woo! All those suckers die. Get 'em! Cyberpunk. Adam Smasher. The Chromed. The Chrome Dome. Again, not really a big advocate. He is intimidating though. I guess he would fit as a killer in the game. Call of Duty. More specifically, Call of Duty Zombies. Samantha Maxis. The Little Brat. People say the Brute as the Warden. There's a whole bunch of different zombies from what I know. So honestly, there's a lot of killers that could go with this, but I just picked Samantha Maxis because I'm pretty sure she's like a big vocal point of the story. Plus, she's the classic, fetch me their souls. So I thought, she'd be the best one. These last few ones are all anime that, in my personal opinion, are just flash in the pan animes that are hot right now that everyone wants in the game because they have I like it itis, where if they like it, they think it should be in every single medium they consume. I don't think so personally. I'm just going to add them in because I guess they would fit in the game. That's my 2 cents. I wouldn't sit there with a big chip on my shoulder if they did get added. Jujutsu Kaisen. Mojito. The Patch Face. The Curse. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Yosha. I hate these names. AI. Do your thing.
Yashikage Kira or Dio Brando, the stand user.
I personally like this guy's Pokemon more, so if I had to pick, I would choose this guy getting added to the game. Demon Slayer. Muzan. The Demon King. My Hero Academia. Shigaraki. The Villain. What a quirky guy. He'll fit right in. So quirky. Dragon Ball Z. Goku Black. The Fake Saiyan. Or Cell. The Imperfect Life Form. Or Frieza. The Tyrant Emperor. Whatever. Take your pick. Not a big advocate for Dragon Ball Z, if I do say so myself. Dragon Ball Z is a franchise whose fan base is constantly trying to push it into every other franchise and medium out there. regardless of whether it would fit or make sense. And the mental gymnastics they do to justify this is stuff of legend. It's crazy. But that one Dragon Ball Z The Breakers game did show that Dragon Ball Z has the potential for Dead by Daylight. Chainsaw Man, Makima, the Control Devil. That's it. The only thing I want to see from Chainsaw Man is a legendary skin for the Hillbilly, okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. During this recording session, I got a beautiful suggestion from a beautiful comment from a beautiful viewer. So I'm just going to throw her in here. This one's for you, Juicebox. Baki the Grappler. Killer. Yujiro Hanuma. The Ogre. I can only imagine him walking up to Dwight saying, "Listen, kiddo, what are you doing on my generator?" Then he grabs him, crumples him into a big ball like a piece of paper, and just flings him into the sun. What a perfect suggestion, I think. Juicebox, you are a gentleman and a scholar, and I simply love the icon. I wish it was a skin and game. And that's it, guys. That's another list. Whew! That's all the solo license killers I could think of. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe for more, and give it a little like. Let me know what you think in the comments, of course, and any other possible suggestions that you have. Also, let me know if you want to know more lists. I've got a list for possible cosmetic. I've got a list for possible licensed cosmetic collections. I've got a list for solo survivors. A list for sequel chapters. Let me tell you something, buddy. When it comes to lists, I have lists of lists. Okay, I've got lists on my lists. But yeah, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for listening. Thanks for all the engagement and support. Have a fun time hiding in lockers, stabbing people in the guts, and hitting people over the head with 2x4s. Have a blessed day. Bye bye.